10 of the most gorgeous tiaras ever owned by the royal family. The Diamond Bandeau Tiara. Meghan Markle had worn the Queen Mary Diamond Bandeau on her wedding day. According to Kensington Palace, the Diamond Bandeau is English and was made back in 1932, but the centre brooch dates all the way back to 1893. The Diamond Bandeau was actually made for Queen Mary just to accommodate the centre brooch. It was then placed in the Queen's vault back in 1953 and was also seen on Princess Margaret, Harry's late great-aunt. The Burmese Ruby Tiara. The Queen had been given almost 100 Burmese rubies for her wedding day and then had them made into a tiara back in 1973. She combined the rubies with diamonds that were made from a different dismantled tiara. Margaret Greville Emerald Tiara. Princess Eugenie decided to not follow in her mother's footsteps and wore the Emerald Greville Tiara, which came directly from the Queen's vault. It was made by Boucheron back in 1921, and the centre emerald is said to be 93.70 carats. It was reportedly even part of a jewellery collection that was left to the Queen Mother by Margaret Greville, who was a prominent member of society and a close friend of Queen Mary. The Queen had inherited the tiara back in 2002. The Halo Tiara. This tiara had been made by Cartier back in 1936 and given to the Queen Mother by her husband just before their wedding. The Queen Mother had gifted Queen Elizabeth II the tiara when she turned 18. It has since only been worn by Princess Margaret as well as Kate Middleton, who famously wore it when she married Prince William. The tiara is said to feature about 739 brilliants along with 149 batten diamonds. The Cambridge Lover's Knot Tiara. Most popularly associated with Princess Diana, the tiara had been made for Queen Mary during the early 1900s before it was passed on to Queen Elizabeth. She then gave it to Princess Diana as a wedding gift, and it has also been seen on Kate Middleton. The York Diamond Tiara. What's a little special about this tiara is that it was purchased, instead of being passed down, for Sarah Ferguson to wear on her wedding day when she married to Prince Andrew by Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth from Garrard. Even though Sarah and Prince Andrew eventually went their separate ways, Sarah still retains the tiara. She has even worn it on several occasions, like to Elton John's 2001 white tie and tiara ball. Girls of Great Britain and Ireland Tiara. Originally meant as a wedding gift to Queen Mary, who was then a princess, in 1893, the tiara gets its name because it had been given by the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland Committee for her wedding. Queen Mary then gave it to Queen Elizabeth II as a wedding present back in 1947, and it is extremely recognizable thanks to its frequent appearance on banknotes as well as stamps. The Strathmore Rose Tiara. The Strathmore Rose Tiara, also called the Queen Elizabeth's Strathmore Tiara, had been given to the Queen Mother by her father just before her marriage to King George VI. It had been purchased back in the 1920s but made during the late 19th century. The flowers in this tiara, which is supposed to be worn low on the head, can be removed and even worn as brooches or swapped out for 5 collet set sapphires. The owner of this precious tiara is none other than the current Queen. The George V State Diadem. This crown had been made for King George V for his 1821 coronation and was worn by Queen Victoria as well as Queen Mary, and has stayed in the family ever since. Queen Elizabeth II then wore it to her coronation and continues to wear it while travelling to and from the state opening of the Parliament. Also, it has a modest 1,333 diamonds and cost only £8,216 to make. But again, this was back in the 1800s. The Aquamarine Pine Flower Tiara. The aquamarine pine flower tiara can be traced right back to Princess Anne's grandparents, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth. The king commissioned Cartier to make this tiara for his wife as an anniversary present during the 1940s. In 1973, Elizabeth then handed the tiara over to her granddaughter, Princess Anne, as a wedding gift, who still has it to this day.